Good afternoon. I'm going to actually run through the redesign of Lego Set 7720 that I've been working on. We're going to start with the engine. I'm going to bring up a quick, here's what the original engine looked like. The power brick that the wheels plugged into is not in Lego, or at least the wheels will not plug into it properly in Lego Studio, or sorry, Bricklink Studio. So I just built this one to match the exact same dimensions and pop some wheels in there just so that I could actually build this for reference. So there's that, and I forgot to open up the comparison. And here's what the two look like next to each other with the grayed out minifigure for scaling. So the one I've made is substantially bigger. In this one, the minifigure could only sit down, where in the new one, I actually can have a minifigure standing or sitting. Let's close the comparison back up. Don't save. So I built this with the intent to run Lego Power Functions. Uh, on the back on the back side here is where the old wire used to come in from the battery, which was literally the box car, uh, and it had a notch for that. I did my best to try and keep a lot of the original feel of the system, so we can remove this panel and the battery comes in, and I've actually made sure there's enough room. I can plug in the battery connection there. I can plug the IR receiver into the battery, and then the front powered bogie, which I've just done a bogie mock-up for right now, can come up here and feed into the IR receiver. My goal is to run the entire train off of one channel of IR receiver, so this one might just plug into the blue. So if I make it longer and need to add a second powered bogie, uh, there's room up front for the polarity switcher, and that would also plug into the blue port on here. That way, if I have a second train running, I can run two trains on a single remote control. The lights have cavities for them. There'll be two wires coming in from or there'll be one wire coming in from the box car, which will plug into here, and then a set of lights will plug in for the front, a set of lights will plug in for the back, and the IR receiver will plug in. So I do have enough room to plug in four connections. Uh, there's the inside of the redesigned cab, which is quite a bit taller. Like I was saying, the original one, a minifigure could only sit in here. I can put a minifigure in that seat and have another minifigure in the back standing behind him and have enough headroom. I'm planning on possibly making a so you can actually see right there where the bogie will eventually plug in. Uh, the small bogies I'm using right now plug in with a turntable right there, but it's designed to actually take powered bogies on this. I might build a little engine unit that you can put in there just for a little bit of flavor. And again, I've got the front set up like the back so that I can actually run Lego Power Function lights to the front of the train. So that's pretty much it for the engine. No, don't save it. So here are the box cars. This is the original box car. Uh, the part in Lego in Bricklink Studio does not have a lid for this, so I just improvised. Let's just select my color. Oh, That's its own submodel boxcar. So in here is where 3C cell batteries would go in the original toy. Uh, there's the power connection that would go to the engine in the front. This switch would be right there is the off position, and then move it forward is on, and going forward move it the other all the way the other way, and it would reverse and polarity, and the train would go in reverse. And the actual color is not available for any. There's no color assigned to that part, so that's just going to be an issue. Let's see, boxcar comparison. And there's a comparison shot of how big the newer boxcar I've done is next to the old one. So here's the new boxcar. I've got it broken into submodels so it can easily be pulled apart. So let's pull the roof off. In here you can see the power functions battery sits right there. The entire, almost the entire floor is tiled. I might have to pull up extra tiles there. Right here is set up so that a so that the power functions can have a plug-in right there and another cord can plug in. You'll notice there's a notch on the front and back for running cabling out. And I have a button set so you can just push down on the roof. Opening doors just add flavor. If I want to put a couple pallets in there, I can. And then we're going to take a look at the undercarriage I made. Oh, that's not the floor is not its own separate thing. Oops. So this custom undercarriage has a channel underneath the floor that I can run the power functions wires through. The goal is, other than wires between trains, nothing is visible. And I use the same base custom undercarriage for the boxcar, the flatbed, and the work caboose. So back to main model. And that's about it for the boxcar. And I'm using just the same bogies again for setup. I'm probably going to work a little bit on this spot. I have the bricks just filling in just to make it look nicer. This is just a quick mock-up just to get me started. Don't save. Okay, let's go to the flatbeds. So here's the original flatbed. It's quite small, and I used what parts I could find that would work with the original scale of the train, and just make mocking this up for a demonstration easier on me. The original train had red wheels that were pinned into this 2x4 brick, and I just grabbed a wheel assembly. Let's see, flatbed comparison. And yeah, you can see a much bigger difference in the vehicle, in the train car here. So for my power connection, this one I've actually got the floor its own submodel. These are submodels. Oh, no, I'm on select color still. Default. There we go. That bed can go. These aren't their own submodel again, which is my bad. So you can see the undercarriage again has a nice two stud wide channel for wires to run through, and these also come off. And damn it, And this actually shows you where I have room to make I can plop down the incoming or I can run a power functions line from front to back, and then I can plug in with enough room to spare under here the incoming power functions line from the box car. And well, this car, I don't intend to have any lights on it. I need to run a wire through here to hit the caboose. So yeah, not really much in line for the box car other than a few upgrades here and there. The original set had a really small front loader. I'm going to be substituting that with a front loader from a current Lego set, which I cannot remember the set number right now off the top of my head, but I can find it real quick. Uh, let's see. And while I'm looking for it, I'm going to close out these. Don't save. So this is the original work caboose. It had the opening sides right here, and it had an open top, which I figure is probably for carrying workers as the train goes to where it's going to be doing work, and it has a cabin. Cabin really can fit one or two really close minifigures in there. There's no taillights on the original model, but I decided I wanted to upgrade it. Okay, I'm for the flatbed. I'm planning on using the construction loader, which is set 60219 from the city, because that's a much nicer looking. It's not the same style of front loader. This is more of a Bobcat, but I think it looks a lot nicer than the original one the set had. So yeah, looking over this, we can see how small this car is. And there's the work caboose upgraded model. Uh, I've decided to use the same doors as the front of the train that actually have the set number on it. I upgraded, and you can just see the size. Let's go into the actual file. So let's start with the front. This area right here is set up so again I can hide the power functions connection and run a wire. Each one of these boxes are modular, so I could like say leave this one as these are tools. I can remove these two, and if I wanted to I can make new ones that were open top for hauling workers. So just quick nice little modular design there. Pop that back, and again you can see that the caboose is on the same undercarriage, although I blocked off the back end and I've added lights. I'm going to pull the roof off, and now we're going to take a look inside here. I'm going to actually switch to cabin. So here's the cabin without the roof on. Again, it's modular. The wires will come up through here, so I don't have to have a big gaping hole in the floor like my first design had. I have two tall panels in the back, so I can actually try and conceal the wires without basically, or I have clearance to run the wires up from the hole and to here with these panels here, so that I can light up the tail lights without having to worry about the connection. The cabin's significantly larger, so I can actually fit a couple minifigures in there. I'm thinking about building a seat right that will basically plug into here. It will block half this hole, but it would still leave enough room for the wires to come up for the lights. Probably the left tail light wire come up through there. the right tail light wire come up through there, or both of them come up through the middle, and the bench would just basically peg down on those studs right there and go all the way to the back wall. Just basically, or maybe like a work chest, something that I can use to also hide the wires. Oh, I should have showed that on the engine too. Another thing with the engine is, okay, that's all one bit, so we can go to the engine body. I'm gonna, if you look here, you can see right through here is where the wires will run through from back to front. You can run the bogey wire down. If I wanted to, I could switch out some of the plates in here and find a way to put lights, maybe put a single light or two lights in here, but I'm already running a lot of lights in the engine. I'd be worried that I'd be doing some overkill. The door's open. So yeah, that's it for the engine. But it also shows how I've got the back of the lights set up just for a little easier of with the Lego Power Functions lights. So that's about it.